had to have been something catastrophic to cause a fish and a dinosaur to be buried next to each other.
Sure.
I mean, this, because being a fish, a water animal, and a dinosaur, a land animal, buried next to each other, it had to have been.
With crocodiles, and as Bill pointed out, our cameraman here, we've
With
got very
crocodiles.
astute, everybody's here, is that it mentions plant life there too. So delicate plant life is preserved over millions of years like that. And of course it was catastrophic. And we've shown that fossilization can happen very rapidly. We've shown films of a cowboy boot. Poor guy lost his leg, and the boot is there with a fossilized leg in it.
Yeah, and even something closer to home, you mentioned the polystrata trees, Mike. The evidence Mount St. Helens left us, and the fossilization that's already going on because of the catastrophic event in 1980.
Sure.
Already going on today.
Right. So why don't they teach this stuff in the school system? It's because it's politically incorrect, because there's a movement globally to have a cosmic evolutionary consciousness. So evolution has to be brought to the forefront continually, and you have to be brainwashed.
You know, Mike, going back to what I was taught in school and thinking about science and being part of the science class, and everything I was taught out of a book with theory evidence, okay? Theoretical evidence. Okay, now, wouldn't it be cool as a study in science to take a bus ride and actually look at scientific evidence?
Well, that's what museums are for. But they lie in the museums too.
Right, but I mean, as far as just studying science, wouldn't it be cool just to actually study science?
Well, sure.
Instead of be taught in so-called theories out of a book?
Of course, of course.
Based on complete assumptions and not on factual evidence. I would love to go up. Wouldn't it be cool to take a bus ride up to Mount St. Helens and Spirit Lake and look at all the evidence that was
they
left?
look at it but they interpret it differently. Of course, Mount St. Helens, that's just a fluke. They don't tie that in with the Grand Canyon, and
what
it's
do you mean
slow.
It's a fluke?
To them, it would be a fluke because they don't see it. We talked about, glasses. What kind of glasses you wear versus the kind of glasses that evolutionists wear.
Well, let's just leave the glasses aside and let's just take a look at it.
Well, nobody can leave their glasses aside. The bias is so strong in us. But yeah, we need to be objective, and you certainly should be allowed to bring evidence like this into play in discussion about, are these things really that old? Next section of film, I think it's the next section that we'll get into. We've talked about this before. He's going to mention some cave drawings where people have drawn these creatures. Now, why would people draw creatures like that? You don't see, lots of mythological creatures we've never heard about in drawings. You see antelope and cattle and lions, cougars, but you don't see mythical creatures. But you see dinosaurs sometimes in these drawings, which is evidence, again, that they existed along with these people. They saw them and they drew what they saw. Weren't making it up out of their head.
No, but we do have the fossil evidence that proves that dinosaurs
Sure, but they didn't see that, the people who drew them on the cave walls, evolutionists say they couldn't have seen them, and where would they, and they didn't have these dinosaurs at that time put together, their bones.
And interesting how their pictures or their hieroglyphics match up to the bones that are found today.
Yeah, he's going to point that out. Well, why don't we show the second section of film, which is also about 5 minutes long, and we'll be here if you want to comment after that. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
They kind of filled in with water and they had to abandon it. Well, dinosaurs are fascinating creatures. Many of the pictures I'll show you are from the Dorling-Kindersley Atlas, which Microsoft used to produce a series called Dinosaurs, which sadly I don't think is being produced anymore. But one of the things I like about these particular paintings of dinosaurs is they show people in association with the dinosaur. I know the reason they did this. They want to give you a sense of relative size, and you know how big people are, so then you get an idea how big the dinosaurs are. But I believe that dinosaurs and people were contemporaries. They lived together. I'm not sure they really hobnobbed, but they at least lived on Earth at the same time. So I get a double benefit. I get a sense of the regular size, and I get reminded that humans and dinosaurs were contemporary. This is that iguanodon. You can see it's one of the larger dinosaurs right here. Now, dinosaurs have been found, or paintings of what appear to be dinosaurs, have been found in cave paintings in America and elsewhere. For example, in Natural Bridges National Monument in Utah, paintings on the wall of a cave, presumably made by prehistoric Indians. Paintings like this, when carefully traced and examined, appear to be basically that of a chicken. No, you can tell it's a dinosaur, right? I was just checking to see if you're listening. It looks just like a dinosaur. In fact, it not only looks like a dinosaur, it looks like a particular dinosaur. It looks like a sauropod dinosaur. And this was painted along with other animals that we recognize as being still with us today, bears and deer and this sort of thing. It's kind of interesting when the people that take you through these exhibits of these paintings, they say, here's a bear, here's a deer, here's this, here's that, and they get to this thing and they say, and this is a mystical creature, we don't know what that is. There's a little reluctance to recognize that humans saw and illustrated dinosaurs. But if we look at a sauropod, you can see that this indeed appears to be at least the type of creature that these prehistoric Indians were painting, and that they must have seen creatures like this. A question that comes up is, are dinosaurs found in the Bible? Now, I don't mean, you know, do dinosaurs crawl out of the Bible when you open it up or anything like that? Are they mentioned in the Bible anywhere? And I think you can take just about any Bible I'm familiar with and you can look in the concordance or index and you will not find any entry for dinosaur. And that might raise some questions whether the writers of the Bible knew anything about dinosaurs, or whether we had to wait until the 1800s for Dr. Mantell and his wife to find one. Well, the reason probably dinosaurs aren't mentioned in at least the King James is the word dinosaur wasn't really coined until 1841. There was an English anatomist, and I'm one of these anatomists, and you can see what we do. We work with very large bones and body parts and things like that. We all have these kind of scowly stares. It's a scary lot of people, anatomists. The word anatomy means to cut to pieces. And Sir Richard Owen, who lived from 1804 to 1892, was familiar with some of these large animals that were beginning to be discovered, like iguanodon, and he called them dinosaurs. Now, I suppose maybe some of the younger kids here know what the word dinosaur means, and maybe the older people don't, because young people really tend to get into this. But the word dinosaur really just means terrible lizard. We get the word dino, you use it in dynamite. And saur, wherever you see it, means just lizard. So, terrible lizard. Now, perhaps the reason we don't find dinosaur in the King James Bible and the translations derived from the King James is King James was written in 1611, and the word dinosaur wasn't coined or invented until 230 years later in 1841. So we not only do not find the word dinosaur in the Bible, but I've done a very, very careful search and I have discovered neither do you find the word email in the Bible.
Back to Truth Seekers. Jay, any thoughts on that?
Well, we do have dinosaurs in the Bible.
That's right.
In Job chapter 40 and 41. Gives a perfect description. Job being the, as the great scholars believe, the oldest book of the Bible. They believe Moses wrote that before any other book.
Well, there's lots, you know, who knows. But Genesis, of course, is early, and he got that account supposedly from people who lived before him. And